Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Polygon's price chart and what we talked about in the previous video. Basically, I'm going to say 90% of it played out, and now I am more bullish than ever in Polygon. Having said that, in the short term, there is a scenario indicating, you know what, we may see a move on the downside. So, are you ready to start today's update? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And if we remember the last time that we talked about Matic, we were all the way down here, and the idea was that, sure, this can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. However, due to the fact that we are sort of not able to find a 5 wave in this phase on the upside, we said, you know what, maybe this is an A, B, C in form of an expanded flat in Polygon, suggesting after this phase is over in the short term, we are going to have yet another strong move up in order to take the highs in here. And that pretty much played out. And I'm going to be the first one to admit this. I actually expected this move to continue for quite a bit more, but you know, we don't really always get it right. And here we are. Now, having said that, I think in Polygon, now it is absolutely confirmed that we are looking bullish and fantastic. Why? Because my main concern in Polygon was coming down to the structures off of the recent lowest low and whether I'm able to find off of the lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. Now, this specific example is called an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is not allowed to be the smallest wave, and for our sub waves, okay, you know what's going on. We need to be able to find 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities. Honestly, it's not really that important. Let's say, sure, ABC into wave 4 and like a W, XY structure into wave 2. Now let's go on the live charts and see what is going on and why am I so bullish. And it all comes down to this phase up in Matic. Let's go on maybe 15-minute chart. Okay. In my view, now it is confirmed that we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about this point, and this is going to be into a larger degree wave 3, followed by a correction for 4, maybe an ABCDE, a triangular structure, and yet another move up into wave 5. And why is this a very bullish sign? Because now I am able to tell you with a hell of a lot of confidence that look, off of the lowest low, we are able to find a 5 wave, suggesting we are looking great. And probably the final low in Matic is already in, right in here about 19 cents area. Having said that, this doesn't mean that we're going to go straight up. Absolutely not. In fact, here's a question for you. Even if you want to say this is 5 wave off of the lowest low and the bottom is finally in, what are we going to have after it? You know the answer in case that you are a regular viewer. We are going to get a move on the downside, but that move should have certain characteristics. For example, after a 5 wave up off of the lowest low, what you get is usually a slow and choppy move on the downside, which is one very important characteristic of a correction structure. And by the way, between our pullbacks up, we must constantly be able to find overlapping of the waves in order for us to be able to say, you know what, this is actually a correction structure. And at the moment in Polygon, this seems to be quite a strong move down. In fact, I would like to say, you know what, maybe, excuse me, this is going to be from this point a 1, 2, wave 3 to about here, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. So essentially, this is kind of a strong move down. And what is going on in here? Well, here's the situation. I think this might be the beginning of a corrective movement in Polygon. And at the moment, I'm thinking about having an ABC zigzag structure, which the subways for it are going to be like this. 5 down into a correction for wave B. Let's say short WXY. We can have many other different counts, doesn't really matter. And yet another 5 down into C. And so far, I am able to tell you that this is 5 wave down, maybe into an A leg, and followed by that, the current move can be a correction structure, and maybe even in the next 24 hours, we are going to get like another move on the upside. But overall, as long as I'm not proven otherwise, I do like to consider this thing as a corrective movement, meaning what's next? Yes, you guessed it right, another move on the downside into our C leg, and we may even reach to about the lower band of this region, about 21.5 cents. But I need you to understand this. This is a very, very important point, okay? Please pay attention. Even if we get a move down in the short term in Polygon, it is not going to be a bad sign at all. In fact, it is going to be part of the bullish process and having a magnificent bull run. Why? Because at that point, assuming that this is going to have all the right characteristics, I'm able to tell you, look, this is 5 up into 1, this is correction for wave 2, and what's next? You know what? A strong move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And finally in this space, I'm hoping that in Polygon, we are going to get a break of this unbelievably important level between 29.5 to about 33 cents, which will be an extremely bullish sign, further confirming our bull run thesis in Matic. So overall, we are looking great. In the short term, we may see a move down, and there is just simply nothing to be worried about. Now, here's a very important point. There are some other counts in Polygon at the moment indicating, you know what, maybe we are like much more bullish. And for example, you can have an extension structure in here, and this can be 5 up, sure, but on a higher degree, maybe like into a 1 correction for wave 2, and then we're gonna have a massive move up, even starting from the current point into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Do not get me wrong, these scenarios are possible. But two very important points. Number one, I'm not really in the business of getting your hopes up that much and getting a lot of views and likes. No, I would much rather keep my integrity and talk about some realistic possibilities. Number two, in most markets, you shouldn't really be overwhelmingly optimistic. And I would argue, if every single time you want to think about the most bullish case, you are actually going to overall end up losing quite a good bit of money. And that is why I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the extension possibilities, as long as I'm not seeing some very important optimistic signs confirming those scenarios. Okay, it's very important to understand that. But even if you want to be optimistic and you don't really want to listen to me, you know what, that's absolutely fair. Just know this, in case that we get another small move down in Polygon, and in that move we take this important slowdown here, about 22.5 cents. At that point, odds of having an extension in here is going to be very low, to a degree that it probably shouldn't be your primary case. Okay, so if you want to think about the extension scenario, all eyes should be on this important slow. Take it, and at that point, that is going to probably not be on the table anymore, or odds of it happening, it's not really going to be that high. And there's a good chance that we are going to be on our way to complete the subwaves for an ABC zigzag, and then it will be time to have a fantastic move on the upside. So in Polygon, we are looking great. Do not worry. In the short term, we may see a move down, but it's all good. Hopefully this is going to be a correction structure. And if it is going to be a correction, the next move is going to be a big one up. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Matic. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.